शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। Om. Dear friends, welcome to the study of the Yoga Sutras. In the last class, we were seeing the sutra that is about Niyamaha. Niyamaha, Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaswadhyayeshwara Pranidhanani Niyamaha. That was the sutra we were reading. And we were somewhere in the middle of that commentary. Shaucha, Niyama. First, he told about yamas, that is the behavior, controlling our external behavior. The second, Niyama, is controlling the mind. So Niyama, that is, we should have that Shaucha, Antara, Antashaucha, Santosha, Tapa, Swadhyaya, all these things were being told. I will now share the text. We stopped somewhere in the middle of that Bhashyam. I will share the screen now. Yes, Swadhyaya, this red word, that is where we stopped. The sutra is like this. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara, Pranidhanani, Niyamaha. These are all internal restrictions we have to do within our mind. Then it's basically for internal purification. Then he told about what is called Trikarana Shuddhi. And again, Swadhyaya. Now we are coming to Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, this word appears in Vedanta also. Swadhyaya, Swashakhayaha Adhyanam. General meaning is Swashakhayaha Adhyanam. Because everybody in our tradition, what people say is, you are there in some tradition. Your forefathers, they belong to a particular tradition. They followed a particular Yajurveda, Rigveda, or some other tradition. So that particular tradition, that particular branch of Veda has to be preserved. In fact, this is how the Vedas were preserved in our country. Vedas, everybody, there was a mandate that, okay, if you belong to this Yajurveda, I am Yajushaka Adhyayi, I have to preserve this Yajurveda. So I have to study that Yajurveda, not only learn it by heart, but also know the meaning, I have to know the application, all those things. So like that, our tradition was preserved. Here, of course, not merely for preserving the tradition, but for understanding it, realizing it, to trying to implement it, trying to say, know our own self, using it as a means for self-realization. So that is the meaning here. Swadhyayaha moksha shastranam adhyayanam pranava japova. So he's very clearly saying, not merely reading the text for the sake of preservation, but moksha shastranam adhyayanam. You have to study the moksha shastra. That is the shastra which relates to release moksha. Really, moksha is liberation. So the shastra relating to liberation has to be read, not the shastra relating to bondage. If you read Karma Kanda, that is something which relates to bondage. If you are performing yajnas, it is leading to further bondage. But here we are not supposed to read Karma Kanda. We are supposed to read Vedanta. We are supposed to read maybe in the yoga philosophy. Yoga also accepts Vedanta. Anyway, yoga accepts some Astika school of Astika Darshana only. And Pranava Japova, Pranava, Omkara. Omkara, in fact, I told earlier also the meaning of Om. We spent a few minutes on that. So Pranava Japaha, that is Japaha. Japa, what is Japa? Tad Japastad Artha Bhavanam. We saw that sutra in the first pada. Tad Japaha, Tad Artha Bhavanam. We have to realize, we have to bring back the meaning of that mantra or that pranava into the mind, and you have to contemplate on that particular meaning. So that is pranava japa. Then Ishvara pranidhanam tasmin parama gurau sarva karmarpanam. So this is what is an very, very regular practice in all our rituals. Sarva karmarpanam. At the end of every puja, we say Krishna arpanamastu. And in some karmas, we also have specific shlokas. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrute swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. We say every day in Sandhya Vandana, we say this. So similarly, in almost all pujas, at the end of all vratams, we say, okay, Brahma Tatsat Brahma Arpanamastu, etc. So here, of course, that we say without intending. But Sandhya Vandana is where we are telling it with intention. We are saying it with intention. So here Ishvara Pranidhanam. What is Ishvara Pranidhanam? Not merely to bow to Ishvara, okay, you are great, and then you are like this, you are that, etc. And not seeking various boons and whatnot. The Ishvara Pranidhanam, Tasmin Paramagurau, in that Paramaguru, Sarva Karmarpanam. That means whatever I do is in the interest of that Ishvara. And what is this Ishvara? Ishvara, of course, we know that it is not referring to the husband of Parvati. Ishvara, we are referring to that cosmic being, that cosmic consciousness or cosmic being, that is, which is present in all the beings, because that same cosmic intelligence is present in all of us. When we say Ishvara Pranidhanam, we are talking about the whole society. We are talking about the entire humanity. The entire humanity, whatever is done in the interest of that humanity, like Bhagavad Gita tells about what is called Yajna. Yajno vai Vishnu, says Shankaracharya in his commentary. Yajno vai Vishnu means when you are talking about Yajna, that is, Yajna means Vishnu, that is, Vishnu is Sarvavyapi. That means you are doing something, understanding the overall framework, overall the cosmic scheme, and understanding the nature of interdependence. You are dependent, every second you are dependent on the universe, and whatever you are doing, it should be in accordance with the universal laws. It should be in accordance with say helping, or rather it should be by way of helping other people. So that is how our actions should be. So when I am offering my actions to God, naturally I will not offer my stupid actions, or I will not offer my willfully sinful actions. So all those things I cannot offer. So gradually, in course of time, my actions get purified. When I say, okay, whatever I am doing, I am offering to the Lord. So, okay, at the end of the day, suppose evening Sandhyavandana, Sayam Sandhyavandana, suppose I say this mantra. When I say this Sandhya, this mantra, and during the day I have done some sinful act, I can't offer it to the Lord. So similarly, so our actions get purified by karma samarpanam. Then bhakti, God is like an anchor. Of course, in bhakti tradition, for example, Narada Bhakti Sutra or Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, if you read, God is somewhat like a lover. He comes halfway. You take one step forward, he also takes one step forward. When you are crossing the river to meet the lover comes halfway and then picks you up, takes you, guides you, takes you. So that is how Bhakti Shastra says. So then, there is a shloka also quoted by the commentator. Shayya asanastho atha pathivrajanva. Shayya asanastho atha pathivrajanva. Swastha parikshena vitarkajalah. In whatever situation you may be, in whatever condition you may be, Shayya, when you are on the bed, lying on bed, asana, you are just you are sitting somewhere. Asana means when you are sitting in some asana. Then pathivrajanva, when you are when you are walking some path, you are just strolling or walking. Maybe nowadays driving also. Pathivrajanva, swastha, parikshena vitarkajalaha. Whatever you may be doing, you have to be swastha. Swastha means swasmin sthaha swastha. That is with full realization of who I am and what I am doing every minute. That is what we call mindfulness meditation. Mindfully, you are just mindful of what you are, mindful of your real nature. That is what is swastha. And parikshena vitarka jalaha. That is vitarka, all these contrary ideas. Vitarka, viparitaha tarkaha vitarkaha. Viparitaha tarkaha means perverse logic. When the sutra says shaucha, santosha, etc., why should I have it? Why should I not be ambitious? So these are, why should I not be greedy? Why should I not do this? Why should I not do that? So that is vitarka. So vitarka jalaha, now parikshinaha. So that parikshina means that has totally died down because you have contemplated on the uselessness of all those things. You have contemplated on the negative results, negative consequences of all that. So parikshina vitarka jalaha. Then samsara bija kshayam ikshamanaha. He is looking at one thing only. Ikshamanaha. Ikshamanaha means looking at. Ikshana. Ikshana is seeing. Ikshamanaha. Shanach pratyaya. You are looking at something. What is that? Samsara bija kshayam ikshamanaha. You are looking at, your aim, your goal is to see that samsara bija is destroyed. Samsara bija is, what is samsara bija? Our own mind. our own mind with all love, hate, and all these things. Karaga, Kama, Krodha. These are the only things which have to be eliminated first. Once they go, that ahankara also goes. Ahankara also slowly goes. That aham pratyaya has to go away. Samsara bijakshaya vikshamana syat niyukto nityayukto amruta bhoga bhagi syan nityayuktaha. So he is somebody who is nityayuktaha. Yukta means yoga is this what we are studying this shastra. Yukta means associated with that. Yogena yukta. Yukta. Yujadhatu. Kta pratyaya. Yujadhatu become from that Yujadhatu only yoga, that is noun form. Yukta also of course is noun, that is kta pratyaya. So yuktaha. Syan nitya yuktaha. Amruta bhoga bhagi. So he becomes fit. Bhoga bhag means he becomes fit, he becomes eligible for that amruta. He becomes fit for attaining that amrutatvam, or what can we say, immortality. Immortality not in a physical sense, not that he will be staying forever in 200 years or 300 years. Amruta, so he realizes the amrutatvam of his own amrutatvam. That is, I am that Purusha in the terms of Gita, in terms of yoga. In terms of yoga, we say Purusha. I am, my nature is that pure consciousness which is called Purusha. So that is that Amruta Bhoga Bhagi. So reaching that state or staying in that particular condition, always, whatever you may be doing. Then similarly, earlier Sutra was also told, Tatah Pratyak Yatra Edamuktam. In this context, it has already been said, Tatah Pratyak Chetanadhigamo Antaraya Bhavascha. 29 Sutra. Tatah Pratyak Chetanadhigamaha. Pratyak Chetana. Pratyak is what is inside you. Pratyak. Pratyak and Parak. Parak means outside. Pratyak. Paranchi Khani Geturanat Swayambhu. There, all our Indriyas are supposed to be Paranchi. Khani. Kham is Indriyam. So here, Pratyak Chetana, that my inner sense, my inner self, my real self is something which is that Chetana. Chetana Swarupa. I am the Chetana Swarupa. Chetanayaha adhigamaha. Adhigama is realization, knowledge. And Chetanadhigamo apyant api antaraya bhavasya. And also antaraya bhavasya. All antaraya. Antaraya means all other obstacles, various obstacles. Earlier to that sutra, all these obstacles were told klesha, avidya, smita, raga, dvesha, etc., etc. All those things, they are antarayana abhavaha. So they get extinct. They disappear. So that is the stage. Then the next sutra. Then while the yogi is trying to do this, while trying to observe these yamas and niyamas, some contrary ideas will come. After all, we are in this modern world, but at least a couple of centuries ago, before the advent of modern science and before science discovered that we are a very, very small, tiny particle on Earth, etc., there was a great religious structure. Even now, of course, in India, we are not affected because we are supported by Vedanta. Whereas in societies which are only based on some religion, not based on philosophical reasoning. So our religion is something which is based on a philosophical understanding. So it is very strongly going on. Whereas if you are having if there is a religion which is only based on some faith, yes, based on this particular myth, based on this particular story, then that story provided a religious framework for a long, long time. Till people like Darwin came and then they broke the idea of that creation and all those things, Darwin, etc., Darwin's theory broke. And modern science, again, scientific advancement, etc., it also broke. So once that religious framework is broken, then this ethics or morality, which was dependent on that particular framework, that also got weakened, naturally, also got weakened. So that is the reason why it seems they don't want to teach, and Darwin also, they don't want to teach certain things. So anyway, modern society is more prone to these vitarkas. So now what should we do? Vitarka badhane, pratipaksha bhavanam. We have to visualize the opposing thoughts. Vitarka, when these contrary or perverse ideas are entering our mind, we have to counter them. We have to counter them by some counter thoughts. What type of counter thoughts? by seeing the negative consequences of those vitarkas. So this is what we have to do, Pratipaksha Bhavanam, that is visualization of opposing thoughts. So basically it is a thought of clash, it is a clash of thoughts in our mind. Always there is a perpetual battle which goes on in the mind. That is what is Devasura Sangrama. Shankaracharya says it is called Devasura Sangrama. That is Devaha Asuraha, they means Devaha Shastrodbhasita Indriya Vrittayaha. That is our own thoughts which are refined by the study of Shastras, they are the gods. And our own thoughts which are unrefined and rather based on instinct. So these are the asuras. Asushu ramante iti asuraha. So this is anudinam vartamanaha adhyatmika sangramaha. That is what Shankaracharya says in the Upanishad commentary. So that is pratipaksha, that is a clash of ideas which goes on in our mind always. So this pratipaksha bhavanam is that clash of ideas. One set of ideas, you have to clash them, crush them with another set of ideas. Then negative thoughts trouble the yogi, visualization of opposing thoughts has to be done. Then, religious framework for morality has weakened. Yadasya brahmanasya himsadayo vitarkaha jayeram. Yada asya brahmanasya. When for this brahmana here means yogi, not exactly a brahmana. Himsadayeha vitarkaha jayeram. When these thoughts of himsa, etc., they arise in his mind. Vitarkaha, the perverted ideas or wrong ideas like himsa, etc., they enter his mind. How do they enter? Hanishyamyaham apakarinam. So I will kill this man who has done harm to me, who has offended me, who has done harm. Apakari means one who has offended, done harm. Hanishyamyaham, I am going to kill him. So this is the opposite of himsa. This is the vitarka for ahimsa. Ahimsa, satya, krodha, asteya, those are the yama, isn't it? So for those yama, he is visualizing certain examples. That is hanishyamyaham apakarinam. Then anrutam api vakshyami, I am going to tell untruth, maybe for some benefit. Then dravyamapyasya swikarishyami. Here, of course, ahimsa, satya is negated by anrutamapinavadishyami, satya. Then again, asteya. Asteya means not stealing the property of others. But here this gentleman is saying, dravyamapyasya swikarishyami, asya dravyam api swikarishyami. I am going to take away his whatever property he has, whatever money he has, whatever property he has. Then asteya. Now brahmacharya. For brahmacharya, this is a negative thought. Dareshu cha asya vyayayi bhavishyami. Asya means of this gentleman. Dareshu. Daraha, in Sanskrit, daraha is a nitya bahuvachana shabda. Daraha does not mean the man is having so many wives. Daraha is nitya bahuvachana. We don't know. Maybe we have to read Bhashyam, Mahabhashyam to know why that word has been used. Maybe great respect for women, we do not know. Dareshu. Her Majesty, something like Her Majesty. Dareshu jasya, asya dareshu, in his wife, vyayayi bhavishyami. I am going to have her. Vyayayi. Vyayaya means having sex. Vyayayam is sex. Vyayayi bhavishyami. I am going to have sex with this gentleman's wife. And parigraheshu jasya swami bhavishyami. This is aparigraha. Asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. For aparigraha, this is the counter thought. Counter thought by the person who is entertaining all these negative ideas. Parigraheshu chasya swami bhavishyami. Yes, I am going to accept all things, all gifts. I am going to accumulate things. So these are the negative thoughts which arise in a person. When these negative thoughts arise in a person, what are we supposed to do? Evam unmarga pravana vitarka jvarena. Unmarga pravana. Unmargam means utpatham. Ut plus margam. Utpatham. Utpatham is the wrong path. Unmarga is the wrong path. Pravana. Pravana means oriented in that direction. Pravana. Unmarga pravana. Tending in that direction. Tendency to move in a particular way. That is pravana. Vitarka jvarena. By that fever, by that disease called vitarka. We are having that jvara, vitarka. Yeah, in fact, jvara also is a nice word here. That is, jvara comes like a sort of a totally fills the entire body. Jvara is there right from head to toe. So like that, when somebody's desire is there, that desire also as though we feel from head to toe. So that kama jvara we say. So something like kama jvara, dvesha jvara, krodha jvara. So all that thing, when krodha is there, the entire body is reacting to that. So vitarka jvarena. So this vitarka is something which captures him totally. Vitarka jvarena. Ati deeptena. So that deepta, very, very hot, that is very, very intense jvara. By that intense jvara, badhyamanaha. A person is being tormented. Badhyamanaha. Tat pratipakshan bhavayet. At that time, he has to be cool and then he has to think about how to counter them, how to counter those things. Pratipakshan bhavayet. He has to contemplate on the opposing ideas. How घोरेषु संसारांगारेषु पच्यमानेन मया शरणमुपागतः सर्वभूताभयप्रदानेन योगधर्मः मया योगधर्मः शरणम् उपागतः मया योगधर्मः शरणम् उपागतः. I have taken refuge under this yoga dharma. This dharma, yoga dharma, is the code of conduct which is dictated by yoga, which is advised by the yoga. So I have taken surrender, I have taken refuge. Sharanam is refuge. I have taken refuge under this yoga dharma. And I have done sarva bhuta abhaya pradhanena. And I have promised abhaya pradhanam. I have done abhayam sarva bhutebhyo mattah. When a person becomes a sannyasi. Of course, here he has not become a sannyasi. In the path of yoga also, probably there may be some rituals. I'm not aware. Probably this yogis, Patanjali yogi also, probably they had some sort of initiation rituals. I don't know. We have to probe into that. So sarva bhuta abhaya pradhanena. In sannyasa, there are prescribed rituals. For example, a person he takes up sannyasa ashrama. There are some prescribed rituals, doing something like atma shraddham. One has to do shraddha for one's own self. Prior to that, he has to do shraddha for even the living parents and living. He has to do shraddham for them. He has to do this atma shraddham. So all those things it is there. So, but for this yogi, maybe something we do not know whether there was some initiation. Sharanam upagataha sarva bhuta abhaya pradhanena. How, why? Ghoreshu samsara angareshu pachyamanena maya. Prior to that, how was I? Prior to that, I was being cooked, pachyamanena, I was being cooked in the very hot embers. Not only ember, yeah, angara actually means ember. Hot embers of this world, all these worldly activities, terrible worldly activities. Ghoreshu, gora, very terrible. Samsara angareshu. There's a terrible embers of fire called samsara. I was being pachyamanena. Every day the wife says something, somebody says something, boss says something. So pachyamanena maya sharanam upagataha sarva bhuta abhaya pradhanena yoga dharmaha. Then sakhalvaham tyaktva vitarkan punahatan adadanaha. So sakhalvaham, I am such a person. Sakhalvaham, I am such a person. Sakhalvaham, such me. Because I don't know whether we can say such me. Then aham tyaktva vitarkan, by giving up all those vitarkan, punahatan adadanaha tyaktva sakhalvaham tyaktva vitarkan punahatan adadanaha. Again I am accepting them. I have given up all those negative thoughts, but again I am accepting it. And suppose you have vomited out something, and again we are taking it. He is going to compare it with that. Adadanaha tulyaha shvavruttena iti bhavayet. I am like a dog. We have to feel like that. Why a dog? He is going to explain. Yatha shva vantavalehi. Yatha shva is a dog. Vantavalehi. Vanta. Telugu also we say vanti. Vanti is vamanam. Vantam. Vamana is the act of vomiting. Vomit. Vamati, vomit is again cognate word only, very apparently. Vanta avalehi. One who is licking. Liha. Liha dhatu again is licking. That also is a cognate word. Liha. Liha dhatu. Lihati. Lehya. Licking. So vanta avalehi. That which licks up. Suppose there is some vomit. This shva goes and licks it up. Sometimes it vomits and then it licks it up. So svantavalehi tatha त्यक्तस्य पुनराददानः, त्यक्तस्य vitarkasya पुनः आददानः. I have given up all those things. Again, I am accepting it. Ityevamadi sutrantareshvapi yojyam. So like a dog, I am again licking the whatever has been vomited. I have just vomited all those negative things. Again, I am licking them. So I have to apply this thought in all other sutras also. Ityevamadi sutrantareshvapi. In other sutras also, this principle that vantavalehi, vantas, that is licking the vomit. So that thing has to be applied. Yojyam. Yojyam means it has to be applied. Then another sutra, vitarkaha. What are these vitarkaha? Vitarkaha, himsadayah, kruta, karita, anumoditaha. I'll first read the sutra. Vitarka, himsadayah, कृत कारितानुमोदिता लोभ क्रोध मोहपूर्वक मृदु मध्याधिमात्र दुःखाज्ञानानन्तफला इति प्रतिपक्ष भावनम. दुःखाज्ञानानन्तफला इति प्रतिपक्ष भावनम. So let us see. Vitarkaha, all those negative points are himsadayah, himsa, etc. Himsa is violence. Himsadayah. And this himsa can be three types. That is kruta, karita, anumodita. A person, somebody personally does it, or he causes it to be done by somebody else. He hires somebody to do it. He himself can kill or hire somebody to kill. Or anumodita. If something has happened, yeah, very nice thing has happened. So the person has been killed by someone. It's nice thing has happened. So that is anumodanam. Anumodanam. Muda means happiness. Moda is happiness. Modanam. Anumodanam. Somebody has killed and you are also happy along with that person. So like that anumodana. Anumodita. Lobha, krodha, moha purvaka. Lobha, it may be due to personal greed, or it may be for personal desire or anger, or due to some sort of deluded thinking, wrong thinking. Then again in different degrees, mrudu, madhya, adhimatra, it may be mild, it may be moderate, it may be intense. Mrudu is mild, madhya is something very moderate. I may be having some sort of gentle ill feeling against somebody, or some moderate level ill feeling, or very, very intense type of ill feeling. So like that, whether it is himsa or various other things which are mentioned. So all those things, they may be intense, mild, or it may be some medium level, moderate level. So mrudumadhyadhimatraha, dukkha, ajnana, anantapalaha, it is pratipaksha bhavanam. All those things, they will ultimately lead to dukkha. They are part of ajnana. This is all due to ignorance. And this dukkha and ajnana continues forever, and they continue to give again and again another life. So they are going to bind me in samsara perpetually. So that is what is the pratipaksha bhavana. I have to counter all these things by this pratipaksha bhavana, by the opposing ideas. Negative thoughts, violence, etc. They got done or approved. Yeah, let me read the translation. Negative thoughts such as violence, whether they are done personally, got done by others, or approved post facto, are prompted by greed, anger, or delusion, and they are in anger or delusion, and they are in mild, medium, or intense degrees. So they would give unending sorrow and ignorance as fruits. Such is the visualization of opposing thoughts. So that visual opposition, we have to visualize the opposing thoughts and counter the other thoughts. Tatra himsa tavat kruta, karita, anumodita iti tridha. That is himsa tavat. When you talking about violence, it is three levels. We know that famous sloka also. There is a very famous sloka. Karta karayita chaiva prerakasya anumodakaha sukrute dushkrute chaiva chatvara sahabhaginah. They say samabhaginah. Karta karayita chaiva prerakasya anumodakaha. One more person has been included there. Karta, one who does. Karayita, one who hires somebody to do that. Prerakaha, and somebody who gives the idea, like all our intellectuals who promote violence, intellectuals who promote terrorism. They are the prerayita. They create that ambience. They create a particular atmosphere of chaos. Oh, now the revolt has to come. These are the fellows who create tension in society. So these intellectuals, prerakaha. Anumodakaha. Anumodaka means the people who reap benefits out of the terrorism and then they are happy with that. So they are Anumodakaha. So there Karta, Karayita Shaiva, Prerakascha Anumodakaha. Sukrute, Dushkrute Shaiva, whether it is in good thing or in bad thing, whether it is a punya or papam, Chatvara Samabhaginaha. These are the four who get equal result. So that is what? Equal, fruit or result. Then violence can be three ways. Yeah, this clear. Ekaika punaha tridha. Lobhena, mamsa charmarthena. So ekaika punastritha. Each one again. Kurta can be three ways. Karita can be three ways. Anumodita can be three ways. What are they? That is due to greed for meat or skin. That is lobhena, mamsa charmarthena. Mamsa. We don't have any hatred towards any goat or fish or any other animal, but we relish its meat. And you go to a hotel and then you are eating it, you are relishing it. Oh, this chicken, what is this leg is so nice. And those legs, incidentally, they are discarded by the Western people and they are all imported by us. Some Kentucky Fried Chicken or some such people, they sell all the legs, chicken legs. So we go and eat. Mamsa charmarthena. And you are also getting part of the sin. Mamsa charmarthena, krodhena, apakrutamana iti. Oh, this man has wronged me, so I have to do harm to him. Krodhena, apakrutamana iti. Mohena, dharmo me bhavishyati iti. Moha can be due to various reasons. Moha, of course, the commentators have given the example, olden days example, that is where in yajnas, they used to kill animals. In yajnas, if you read Ramayana, in the very beginning, when Dasharatha performs a yajna, so many types of animals are tied to all those yupa. Yupa means that pegs. So that is Treta Yuga. In the Treta Yuga, at that time, this animal sacrifice was there. Probably even in Kali Yuga, it was there till say the advent of Shankaracharya, Buddha, and all these people. Buddha, Jaina, first of all, Jaina, Buddha and Jaina, Jaina are contemporaries, Mahavira. And they were also kings. So they had that power to impress others also, to influence others also. Whereas Shankaracharya and others, it is only intellectual influence. Shankaracharya advocated non-violence. In fact, wherever he went around, he censored all the violent non-Vedic practices. So here, mohena. So by cutting this animal, I am going to heaven. In fact, we find so many passages in Bhagavatam, so many passages in more in Bhagavatam than in Bharatam. Bharatam also there are a few passages which, Bharatam also there are many passages which talk about this ahimsa. We are not supposed to kill animals in the yajna. There is a story of a king called Prachina Barhi. I think I told about this story also. So Narada comes and threatens him. You have killed so many animals in your yajnas, and all these animals, they are all waiting with all their polished, horns. They are waiting with their horns to gore you. So that is what that man says. Now at least you come onto this path of jnana. So dharma may bhavishyati. Or in a modern context, if we want to say, some fundamentalist thinking that, okay, if I kill this non-believer, I am going to heaven. So we have to add that also. Dharma may bhavishyati. Because people are really believing. People are ignorant people. Most of the terrorism is due to ignorance. Many of these terrorists, whether it is left-wing terrorism or religious terrorism, most of it is due to ignorance. Some core group will be there who will be directing these people. Some core group who will influence them, indoctrinate them. They put all the wrong ideas in the minds. And then they say, yes, if you are going to do this, you are going to get heaven on earth. That is what Maoists, they say. And if you are going to kill these people, you are going to have so many nice things in heaven. So that is what some other man says. So, but the actual operators, they are highly ignorant people, totally ignorant people, just they are turned into killing machines. So, mohena, dharmo me bhavishyati iti. Then we have no anger against the goat, killing a non-believer, hoping the heavenly rewards, etc. is a deluded thinking. Lobha, krodha, moha, punastividha, mrudu, madhya, adhimatra iti. Somehow Vyasa is fond of this sort of gradation. Earlier also we found in one or two sutras, Mrudu, Madhya, Adhimatra. Lobha, Krodha, Moha. This greed, this anger, Krodha and Moha, they can again be in different degrees. Mrudu, Madhya, Adhimatra. Then, evam saptavimshatir bheda bhavanti himsayaha. In himsa alone, if you see, it is 3 into 9. That is 27. That is so many types of Vedas will be there. Himsa 3, that is Mrudu, Madhya, Adhimatra. Then again, what is this? Kruta, Karita, Anumodita. Then again, some other factor was there. So with all these things, if you calculate, it becomes Kruta, Karita, Anumodita. Then again, yeah, with all these permutations and combinations, it becomes 27. Saptavimshati. Saptavimshatir bheda bhavanti himsaya. Similarly, then Mrudu, Madhya, Adhimatraha punastrividhaha. Again, he is fond of further classification. Mrudu, Madhya. Even this gentle, medium, and in that gentle also, that intense form. So if you draw 3 levels, in that gentle only, again you draw 3 lines. Gentle only, low gentle, middle gentle, and then intense gentle. Madhya, gentle Madhya, middle, and then what is that? Intense middle. So like that. Again, Mrudu, Madhya Mruduhu, Tibra Mrudurti. Tatha Mrudu Madhyo, Madhya Tibra Madhya iti. तथा मृदु तीव्र मध्य तीव्र अतिमात्र तीव्र एवं एकाशीति भेदाः हिंसा भवति एकाशीति 27 into 3 that is 81 27 into 3 that is 81 varieties of himsa moderate there are 81 types of violence instead of saying types degrees we can say degrees and also types because it again differs from lobha krodha etc types or degrees of violence. Sa punaha niyama vikalpa samuchaya bhedad asankhyayaha. They again, depending on some niyama. Niyama is some sort of convention or rule. What is that niyama? Okay, Kshatriya, he can kill people in a war. It is his duty. Or somebody says, I am a fisherman, I will only kill fish, nothing else. So that is a niyama. Vikalpa. Vikalpa is you are performing some sacrifice, some yajna or something. Whether to sacrifice this goat or whether to sacrifice some wild boar or whether to sacrifice something else. That was the vikalpa in olden days. Nowadays, that vikalpa doesn't arise. If you are having something like killing 2 people, whether to kill this man or that man, we don't know whether such vikalpas arise. We don't find such situations. Samuchaya bhedat, whether to kill all the people collectively or only 1 or 2. So samuchaya bhedat, asankhyayaha, that is, there is a visarga we have to have a visarga here. I have unnecessarily put a comma. Asankhyayaha. Asankhyayaha. Pranabhrut bhedasya aparisankheyatvat. Pranabhrut bhedasya. Pranabhrut means any living being is pranabhrut. Pranam dharayati. Not dharayati here is bharati. Pranabhrut. Pranam bharati iti pranabhrut. Pranam bharati. Yeah, bharati is bharati. He is pranabhrut. Somebody who is a living being. Pranabhrut bhedasya. So living beings are again so many varieties, so many types. Asa aparisankheyatvat, just uncountable. Aparisankheyatvat. Sankhya means number. Sankhyeya is something which can be counted. Aparisankhyeya means it cannot be counted, uncountable number. Then evam anrutadishvapi yojyam. Likewise, only in himsa, with respect to himsa, we have done so much of analysis. Similarly, for amruta, for telling a lie, even there we can make such analysis. Then te khalvami vitarkaha dukkha ajnana anantaphala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. So this is we have to do pratipaksha bhavana. We have to counter all these things by opposing ideas. All these vitarkaha, dukkha, ajnana, anantaphalaha. They are one is their dukkha, they cause dukkha, ignorance, and that they are going to be unending. Iti pratipaksha bhavanam. Dukkham ajnanancha anantam phalam esham. Iti pratipaksha bhavanam. Their phalam, their result is dukham, ajnanam, anantam, cha iti pratipaksha bhavanam. That is the way in which we have to visualize. Because a person is caught up endlessly in that vicious cycle of samsara. Even in the case of lie also, one lie, suppose you, with one lie, you can't cover up things. For covering up one lie, you may have to tell another lie. For that, another lie. So like that, it will be there. Then, तथा च हिंसकः तावत् प्रथमं मध्यस्य वीर्यमाक्षिपति. Himsakah is the attacker. Himsakah, himsam karoti. Himsakah tavat prathamam vadhyasya viryam akshipati. Vadhya means that victim, whoever is that victim, vadhya, the person who is going to be killed or attacked. Tasya viryam akshipati. He first immobilizes him by some means. If it is an animal, you physically hold it and then restrain it and then tether it to a post, tether it to a peg, and then just see that it is totally in your control. Or you may tie down its legs. For example, if you are, I have seen killing of bulls, etc. They just tie the feet. They just tie the 4 feet and then totally make it immobile. Or hold it, just hold by horns, and then somebody chops off the head. So like that, viryam akshipati, you are just overpowering and immobilizing. And if it is in the case of an enemy, maybe you are trying to bamboozle, you are trying to do some psychological operations, as Dhritarashtra does on Pandavas, some psychological operations and then weakens them. Or there may be some other operations like economic blockade. Such things are also described in our books. Economic blockade is described in Ramayana. So like that, these blockades, etc., you are weakening the enemy or creating some internal tension in a country. So these are so many ways in which you can visualize. So probably this Vyasa also, he knows different levels in which enemy is attacked. It can be applied to modern warfare also. First of all, if you are attacking a nation, you create so much of tension in the nation, so much of nuisance in the nation. There is so much of internal turmoil. And then you use some violence. And then again, slowly you capture it. So then that is what he says. But yes, and these writers, all these writers, they are not simple sages. They also knew the ways of the world. They knew very well. For example, if you read Valmiki or Vyasa, they knew even battlecraft. They knew warfare, they knew battlecraft. And if you read Ramayana, you will be surprised. Ramayana, so much of description of physical combat also, one-to-one physical combat. Probably he was very fully aware of various styles also. So, tatascha, vadhyasya viryam akshipati. So he first immobilizes. So by doing that, tatascha, by doing that, what happens to that person who is the attacker, to that killer? What happens? Shastradi nipatena dukkhayati. Tatascha, thereafter, here, the result he is telling later. Right now, he is telling 3 stages. First stage is viryam akshipati, first immobilizes. Then tatascha, thereafter, shastradi nipatena dukkhayati, by physically attacking, by taking a weapon and then hitting. Then tato jivitad api mochayati, and thereafter, jivitad api mochayati, that is, he may even take away his life. Then the result, what is the result he is going to say? Tato viryakshepat, by doing this sort of viryakshepam. Viryakshepam is challenging the strength, weakening, restraining. By doing all that, this gentleman also who has done it, what will happen to him? Asya, viryakshepat asya. Asya means for this badhakasya, for that person who is a himsakasya. Himsakasya, chetana chetanam upakaranam shina viryam bhavati. His own chetana and achetanam upakaranam. What is this chetana and achetana upakaranam? The body-mind complex. Chetanam upakaranam is our mind and senses. Achetanam upakaranam is the physical body. The physical body, the gross body, and also the subtle body. The mind, the senses, and the whole body. Kshina viryam bhavati. So it is probably nowadays we can say it is all hopeful thinking by by Vyasa. But then Vyasa sincerely believed and wrote it. Viryakshepadasya chetana chetana upakaranam kshina viryam bhavati. A person who does this, so he will also suffer the same. He will also suffer the same. His mind becomes senile, and then his senses become useless. Then his body becomes very weak. So this is what he is going to get. So this is in the Pratipaksha Bhavana. Then it is all part of Pratipaksha Bhavana. Then dukkotpadat naraka tiryak bretadishu dukkham anubhavati. So because he has caused dukkham, caused sorrow to another man, then what will happen to him? Dukkotpadat, because of that, naraka tiryak bretadishu. Naraka is hell. Tiryak means getting an animal life. Then preta or a ghost becomes a ghost or something like that. Pretadishu dukkham anubhavati. So he suffers in those terrible levels. He may be in hell, or he may be suffering as an animal, or he is a ghost. Dukkham anubhavati. Then jivita vyaparopanat. Jivita vyaparopanat. Because he has taken away the life of somebody. Vyaparopanam. But he has taken away the life. Pratikshananja jivitatyaye vartamanaha. Jivitatyaye vartamanaha. At the end of his life, maybe at the final stage of his stages of his life, last stage of his life, then what happens to him? Maranam icchannapi. Though he wants to die, there are so many people whom we see. Maranam icchannapi. Dukkha vipakasya niyata vipaka vedaniyatvat. Very long phrase. Dukkha vipakasya. Dukkhasya vipakaha. Vipaka is the result. The fruit of dukkha has to be experienced by him. You see, sukhasya, dukkhasya, we have to, whatever punya or papam, we have to have the fruit. So that is what? Sukha vipaka, it may be punya vipaka or papa vipaka. Vipaka is that result. Dukkha vipakasya, dukkha nama vipakasya. Niyata vipaka vedaniyatvat. Niyata, necessarily, surely, compulsorily. Vipaka, that result, vedaniyatvat, because it has to be experienced. Vedaniyatvat. Kathanchideva. Uchvasiti, Kathanchit, somehow he keeps on breathing, he draws his breath in pain, as Shakespeare says. There is one line, you draw your breath in pain. So Kathanchideva Uchvasiti, so he keeps on, he pulls his breath in great pain, somehow, though he wants to die. Then, though he desires death, he would somehow breathe in pain, as the fruit of sin has to be necessarily experienced. Yadicha Kathanchit Punyavapagata himsa bhavet. Punyavapagata himsa bhavet. Yadisha katham somehow, katham means somehow. Punyavapagata himsa bhavet. Yadi, if that himsa is a part of some sort of punya activity, it is exactly like yajna, or somebody who is a soldier who is killing people in the battle. Punya, of course, we should not apply it to soldiers. We are now talking about sadhaka only. We are now talking about sadhaka. If you apply it to soldiers, soldiers won't fight. So, putam kathanchit punyavapagata himsa bhavet. If that himsa is a part of some sort of punya activity, then tatra sukha praptau bhaved alpayuriti. So he may get some sukham. He may go to heaven, be there for some time. Alpayuhu. He will be alpayuhu. He will be short-lived. His enjoyment will be short-lived. Kathanchit punyavapagata himsa. So it is part of a meritorious deed. It brings happiness, but he would have a short life. He will suffer premature death. Evam anrutadishvapi yojyam yatha sambhavam. Yatha sambhavam means as and how the situation is there. We have to apply the same principle to anruta. Anruta means like. In the case of himsa, he has given an example. In the case of asatyam, in the case of flouting that brahmacharya, in the case of parigraha and all these things, the same thing has to be applied there also as per the context, yatha sambhavam. Then yoga, we see one point here, yoga, this yoga shastra, like Vedanta and also Buddhism and also Jainism, most in Jainism. In fact, Jainism takes ahimsa to the very highest level. Now all these masks which we are wearing now because of COVID, the Jains have been wearing it for thousands of years. So the Jains, for more than 2,500 years, these people have been wearing masks. So these 3-4 traditions, they discourage violence. Yoga, like Buddhism and Jainism, discourages violence in the yajnas. So this is what I just told you also. It is both in Mahabharata and Bhagavata and Srimad Bhagavata. There are so many passages which censor killing of animals. Then evam vitarkanam cha amumeva anugatam vipakam anishtam bhavayan. Evam vitarkanam cha amum eva anugatam vipakam anishtam bhavayan. Vitarkanam, all for all these negative thoughts. Amum eva anugatam. Anugatam is consequences. We have to visualize the same consequences. Amum eva anugatam. Anugata is a consequence. Vipakam, anishtam vipakam. That is undesirable result, or rather unwelcome result. No, not undesirable, but unwelcome. It is something which we don't want, but then it comes because you have done something wrong. Even we don't want, you get the negative result. So that is anishtam vipakam. Bhavayan, by contemplating on that. Vitarkeshu manaha pranidhadita. Here it is. We are not supposed to entertain those vitarkas. We are not supposed to entertain the vitarkas. So that is what the sutra. Then the next sutra is, here one word is bhavayan na pranidadhita. I was just wondering why he said pranidadhita. Na is there. Vipakam anishtam bhavayan na vitarkeshu manaha pranidadhita. One should not put his mind in these vitarkas. One should not allow his mind to enter this vitarkas. Na pranidadhita. Bhavayan na pranidadhita. Okay. Now, next sutra. Pratipaksha bhavanad hetoho heya vitarkaha yada. When this pratipaksha bhavana bhavanad hetoho, because of the reason that he has done all that pratipaksha bhavana, heyaha vitarkaha yada asya syuhu. So all these vitarkaha, they are all heyaha, they are all things which can be avoided, which can be destroyed. When all those things have been destroyed, yada syuhu, how will they become? Aprasava dharmanaha. Yada vitarkaha aprasava dharmanaha syuhu. That is the anvaya. Yada asya vitarkaha aprasava dharmanaha syuhu. You have to dance this here and there. Yada, when asya, for this yogi, vitarkaha, all the negative things, aprasava dharmanaha syuhu. That is when all these things, they become totally non-reproductive. Otherwise, they are rendered totally what can we say, bija, rendered totally incapable of regeneration. That is aprasava dharmana. Prasava is regeneration. Aprasava dharmana, they are incapable of regeneration. Then tada tat krutam aishwaryam yoginah siddhi suchakam bhavati. So at that time, yogi, there is some siddhi, whatever aishwaryam. Aishwaryam is the mastery over those things, the mastery over all those things. They manifest in the form of a siddhi in this for this yogi. Yoginah siddhi suchakam bhavati. It indicates that siddhi. What is that? How tadyatha? How is that siddhi manifest? How does that siddhi manifest? It manifests like this. So the translation is, when the avoidable negative thoughts are rendered incapable of regeneration by visualizing of opposing thoughts, then such lordship over them is the indicator of attainment by the yogi. And that happens like ahimsa pratisthayam tatsannidhau vairatyagaha. We hear about some stories about great sages, maybe some Vasishtha or some other sage. He is such a great person who totally ahimsa, asteya, all those things. He is a master of that. So in his ashrama, even if the tiger comes, the tiger doesn't pounce on the deer. The tiger gives up its violence. So similarly, usually quarreling animals, they don't fight. The example by the commentators is Sarpa Nakula. Sarpa and Nakula. Sarpa is serpent and Nakula is mongoose, as we call it. Usually this the snake and the mongoose, like the Chinese film, like that snake and the mongoose, they do fight. So, but here in this ashrama, they don't fight. Snake also is there, and in olden days, why olden days, till recently, I have seen people who were rearing mongooses in their houses, who were just having mongoose in their house, just particularly in villages, to ensure that the snakes don't come in. So, ahimsa pratisthayam tatsannidhau vairatyagaha. In the presence of such a person, even cruel animals, they give up their cruelty. Ahimsa pratisthayam. Pratishtha means prakarshena sthitah. Prakarshena sthadhatu. That is, when it is firmly established, when this ahimsa, this non-violence is very firmly established in a person, tat sannidhau, in the presence of such a person, vaira tyagaha, all the quarreling animals also, they give up fight. Then they observe their violence, observing their violence. Then well established means the total absence of vitarka. That is, commentators write that total absence of vitarkas, the negative sinful thoughts. Sarva praninam bhavati. This abjuring of violence happens in all the beings, in all living beings near him. Then, yeah, 1 or 2 more minutes. Then satya pratisthayam kriya phalashrayatvam. When that aspect of satya is very well established in a person, the person is always truthful and then he never tells untruth. When that is so firmly established, then whatever he says, it becomes true. Whatever it comes true. Whatever he says comes true. Kriya phala ashrayatvam. Kriya phala. Kriya phala is kriya cha phalam cha kriya phale. Kriya and phalam, both this is dvivachana. Then tayoho ashrayah, kriya phala ashrayah, tasya bhavaha. Suppose he says, yes, let this happen. So we need more people now for India, to save India. So kriya phala ashrayah. So his word comes true. Tasya bhavaha means his idea or his word. What happens to that? Kriya cha phalam cha kriya phale tayoho ashraya. So his word becomes the ashraya. It becomes the basis for whatever good or bad, which is the whatever idea comes into his mind. Let this good happen. So it happens. Let something else happen. It happens. So kriya phalashraya tasya bhavaha. So kriya phala tasya bhavaha kriya phalashrayatvam. Sorry. Tasya bhavaha kriya phalashrayatvam. Yeah, this is kriya cha phalancha kriya phale tayoh ashrayah kriya phalashrayah tasya bhavaha kriya phalashrayatvam. That is the point. Kriya phalashrayatvam. I should have written that also, so that I don't get confused by my own writing. So kriya phalashrayatvam. So his word attains that state of kriya phalashrayatvam. That is the point. His word attains the stage of kriya phalashrayatvam. So whatever he says, it happens. It comes true. Dharmiko bhuya iti bhavati dharmikaha. Oh, okay, be righteous. You become a dharmika. So person becomes a dharmika. Then swargam prapnuhi iti swargam prapnoti. Yes, swargam prapnuhi. Yeah, you attain swarga. He attains swarga. So evam amogha asya vak bhavati. Amogha. Mogha means wasteful. Amogha means it doesn't go waste. Amogha asya vak bhavati. His walk, his word becomes amogha. That is something which is, it never fails. It comes true always. Then the next sutra also is like that. I think we have just completed time. So we'll continue in the next class. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, sir. There is a question.
Yes,
by Sumit ji. Sir, in Sutra 33 and 34, there is a mention of opposing thoughts. Is it recommended through Viveka or as a mere distraction?
As a mere distraction.
Distraction.
It is by Viveka only, because it is only when Viveka is there, we get such opposing ideas also. If Viveka is not there, we don't get such ideas. Because Viveka is very much needed. In fact, I ought to have told that also. Because Viveka, that Viveka Chudamani, if you see, Viveka Chudamani is full of, it also gives the examples, like how these opposing thoughts have to be built up. So, negative ideas can be fought only when you have done some sort of mental analysis. That analysis itself is Viveka. That analysis is Viveka. So what the person says is right. That Viveka has to be there.
Thank you, sir. I just want to make an announcement for next class.
Yeah.
See,
next class, can we, one second. Next class, can we have it on Wednesday? Because on Thursday, I am having some program in my house. It can be on Wednesday or Friday, whatever is convenient.
Okay, sir. Accordingly, I'll reschedule it.
You will check up and
I'll reschedule it.
Yeah.
For Wednesday, we will have it, sir. Instead
okay,
of Thursday.
Fine. Yeah, for Wednesday, then fine.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you. Harihi Om Tat Sat.